So this is Joe. I've been telling you about Joe. I've been telling everyone that I was coming to stay with you, and then I met you in Bali, and then we're kind of new friends. Like we had that lovely connection, but this is our first time we've ever got to catch up, which is we've had a really lovely evening and nice morning together. Joe's been really helpful with reminding me to breathe so I can get through my day.
Not triggering the flight-fight response, which is what led us into talking about children and parenting and, that the same thing happened to little people as well.
Yeah, we're talking about the phenomenon of tantrums and how it's kind of like a belief system that it's actually about bad behaviour and that it's about disciplining them and giving them boundaries and being really strong with them and all that sort of stuff, whereas Joe has a really different take on it.
Yeah, that really we need to look at children's behaviour as their communication to us when they're unable to tell us. Look, a child acts right when they feel right, and if they're not feeling right, they won't act right. So we take their behaviour as a bit of a signal, like a flare, an SOS signal. Help, I need your help. So children regulate off their parents. So this is like stressed child. We want to have a look what's happening with the parent. We want to look what's happening in the family. And the fight-flight response gets triggered. A tantrum is usually a very overfull nervous system. So either you can see it as their little tensions gather throughout a day and then you say, no, they can't have a bicky before dinner. And blah. And so a tantrum is about a release of energy, like, to do Qigong or breathe or go to the beach, or a child doesn't have those practices. They don't go for a run So the tantrum is actually a release. And it's not a bad thing. It's just saying, I'm not coping, I'm full, and that I need to rest in our connection. I need to know you're on my side. Don't then, if we think we get curt and terse with the child and harder, that they'll take us seriously and, this is not good behaviour and we're embarrassed. And whereas if we want to bring the child's emotional temperature down, we're like the charger of a phone and they're running out of charge. They need to rest in the charger to get re-regulated. So if they're having a tantrum, it's something like, darling, I'm right here. So you've got to bring them into present time too, because they've, what Dan Siegel calls, they've flipped their lid. So the thinking brain has gone offline, they've gone into reptilian brain, and that's the fight-flight response. So we have to reach in and soothe the emotional brain, and then thinking comes back online, and we get our flexible, cooperative child back, because that's who they really are.
That's amazing. So what kind of clients have you got? Like what is is there a common theme at the moment, for instance, what people are coming to you for?
No, it's quite varied, but often people come to me saying the child's the problem. This child's acting out, this child isn't behaving well, this child's this child's broken, can you fix my child? And we have to look at the whole system, and it's getting people to understanding how children's emotions work. So we become emotionally focused, not behaviourally focused, because we've been there for centuries with time-out chairs and punishments and rewards. So we think, if there's a behaviour we don't like, we've got to get rid of it. We'll punish it away, or we'll give rewards to get the behaviour we want, where it's all about emotional connection. Our children are naturally cooperative and naturally flexible. They bounce with us when their thinking brain and their emotional body is understood. When they're full of our presence or emotional safety, and then which builds trust. So as soon as you go to punishment, you'll break the thread of the trust and the relationship, and that's your most potent parenting tool.
And then there's the other extreme of the free-range parents that are letting their kids do fucking anything. So so then you have...
It's just as harmful.
It's just as harmful.
Yeah.
So it's just this whole... We're constantly being asked to bring everything into balance, not being the pendulum out either side. It's a constant work, isn't it?
Yeah. So behaviour that we... basically we call it off-track behaviour. When a child goes off track and they can't find their way back, we've got to help them get back on track. And how we do that is that people call it boundaries, but boundaries get misinterpreted as rules, and that we have to be tough and, you know. But we work with loving limits, how we hold a loving limit. So I can say, no, you can't have a biscuit. I've told you 20 times. Just, you know, we've just broken relationship. And a relationship is a relationship of energy. It's a relay.
Oh, I'm loving relay.
Your needs, my needs, your needs. And if we do these disconnectors and the circuitry doesn't happen, yeah? So we've got to get them back in relationship with us, and that the emotional trust is flowing.
Do you know what I'm thinking of? Just to cut in there, I'm thinking that this dynamic is about happening to my own inner child. As in, like, to have loving limits with myself instead of these really strong boundaries and these really harsh things I say to myself. That inner child in me or the inner child in you. It's the loving limit thing. It's not the harsh boundary thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and that you can sit with those feelings, and often that those feelings are received in relationship, that you can tell me how hard it is, and I get it, and we don't give you a hard time, and we can have compassion for that. And like, so with children, when we put in a loving limit, we can often get a tantrum. Because they hit the wall of futility, they hit the no, and we stay with the no. It's not about being a free range no.
Can you stay with the no and put earplugs in? Can you kind of, you know?
Well, this is where we want to put the parent in a relationship with a listening partner who'll listen to how hard it is, and so they download with an adult, not download with their child. So there's all these little tools that go in place. Then we have preventative tools, which is the special time or present time, where we spend time filling up that connection, like charging the child with our presence and our connection. And then they go off like a happy charged person. And then when they're running out of charge, you can often see it in there. They haven't had enough of you. You've been busy all day. And you think, well, you know, I've been in the car with them. You know, we went to ballet. We've had dinner together. You know, what else do they want? I've been in the same room with them for hours. That's not present time. That's not the same quality of connection. And children often at bedtime will show you they've not had enough connection in terms of...
Not wanting to go to bed.
Yeah. I just need one more drink of water. I just want my story. I need to go to the toilet. I'm not tired. All that stuff. So that says, decode, I haven't had enough of you yet.
Yeah.
And I'm not ready to let you go. Because often at bedtime, parents go, shit, it's 8:30. I just want to go to bloody bed. Go to bed, kids. And they feel that energetic disconnection. So if you go, let's go to bed, stay connected, go to bed a bit earlier. If you know that you've had a busy day, fill up the cup, really warm attention. So this is the short version, but it is really simple. It's hard when you're stressed listening to a child have a tantrum because it brings up big feelings in you. So we have to attend to those as well. That's it in a nutshell.
I love the nutty. I think this conversation demonstrates the need for a professional, and that so many people think that parenting should be natural and they should be able to deal with it, and then they're going to go back to their family and their parents and everyone's dysfunctional stuff and not actually going to a true professional. So when people are looking for a professional, what accreditations are we looking for? I mean, obviously if someone's in this area, Coffs Harbour or in Perth, they can see you. Or do you offer your work via Skype?
Yeah.
Great. So you've got Skype with Joe. But let's say, what are we looking for in a professional?
A relationship-based information, not behaviourally focused. Yeah, so we want to understand what's happening for the child emotionally.
So is there a particular practice that you've done to say that you do that? You've studied?
I use a variety of tools.
Yeah.
Hand-in-hand parenting or parenting by connection. Patty Whiffler's work. She's just written a book called Listen, and we've been waiting for that for ages. Her work is phenomenal. There's a website with hundreds of articles on biting and aggression and hair.
Wow. So Patty
Whiffler, and it's handinhandparenting.org. And then I bring in, when we move into language, I use nonviolent communication because we don't realise that our language has inherent disconnection in it. If I say, I feel ignored, ignored isn't a feeling, it's blaming you. If there's inherent blame, a person you'll invite counter will. So I'll push against you, not what you're asking me to do, but how you're asking me. So the language we use with children is really important as well, so that we're not blaming, and so it's conscious.
Wow.
So that's part of it. I've been like a bowerbird over 17 years, just getting the best of relational parenting, and I run a course called The Heart of Parenting.
And you run that Australia-wide?
Yeah, well, wherever I'm invited, and people could get at least 10 people together.
Yeah, and you could come and do it. Okay, well, I'll put Jo's details up in case this is what you need, or you know someone that is in need of this kind of support. It sounds fantastic. Let's hug it out, sister.
It's been so lovely to see you.
Thank you so much for your beautiful hospitality, and the caravan with the bush turkeys having sex on the roof.
I don't know whether they're having sex. I think they were eating black sapotes, but anyway.
I like the story better. Bye.
Bye.